You're getting distracted.
What?
ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts NieR Automata version 1.1a 2B. 2B comes with a pretty cool looking box. It's the standard S.H.Figuarts norm, and as per usual, they outfit it in colors and everything related to that of the character, the show, the anime, the movie, or the game that they hail from. Right out of that lovely box, 2B will be standing at just under 6 inches tall. Good old Pod over here, though, will be standing at over 7 inches tall when attached to his stand. Here's a closer look at that measurement if you doubt my eyes. And here is 2B and Pod next to the Shokugan Shin Godzilla figures, the Movie Monster Series Shin Godzilla figures, and the King Series Shin Godzilla figures. 2B is magnificent. Magnificently simple. Not too much needed to go into this figure's paint and detail work. The same could be said for Pod assorted numbers over here. Pod's nice and lightweight, this is hollow, and overall the paint and detail present here is beautiful. All the little doodads and hoosers, the minimal yet effective paint and detail on his arms and the rest of his body. This is an accessory done right. I also just can't get over how great his arms look either. God dang it. Everywhere you look, there will be detail. There will be paint. Podbert over here is going to get 2 solid stars in terms of paint and detail. He will of course come with a stand, which will very simply plug into the stand on either side or even over here. Locate his pod hole, apply a tiny bit of pressure, and there he is. Okay, we're done with Pod, let's return to 2B. Again, 2B, fairly simple. She mostly just wears black with a little bit of white, not to mention the pantyhose or tights that she's got on over here. And while there essentially isn't a lot going on, there is still a lot of meticulous little bits of detail. Be it the stitching on her goggles, the little buttons and wrinkles around her waist, the finer details of these feathery sleeves over here, or even the matching design on her dress. Once again, 2B, or not 2B, fairly simple. Minimal yet lovely detailing on her back, as well as just that little patch of skin that she shows. Same for the chest over here. Boobies. And even something as simple as her lips and the little mole she has on her chin over here is simply just fantastic. Then of course we've got these very long boots and tights over here. Simple and leathery in appearance with ties on the back. Not bad. It feels weird getting an S.H.Figuarts figure and not really having too much to talk about when it comes to paint and detail because she's just so finite. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. Yeah, I know we gotta talk about the butt. There you go, the white leotard thong in the back. And in the front, yes, Bandai spared no expenses at making 2B exceptionally accurate to both her game model and what she looked like in the anime, because there is a difference. Slightly. As with Bandai norm, the hands look fantastic, discernible fingers and such on both sides, and simply just the wrinkling detail that's going on with her shoulders and biceps over here, and just the way her dress flows out. S.H.Figuarts 2B is simple and awesome. I'm going to award her 2 solid stars in terms of paint and detail. Truly fantastic. Now, before we get into the accessories, I just want to talk about the stand and the stand base and all that fun stuff. So we're going to get this nice clear base for 2B's stand, which I don't think I've ever received from S.H.Figuarts before, so this is really cool. We're going to get that clear rod for Pod, bars, and we're going to get a base for that rod, which is pretty simply explained. As stated before, it can kind of go anywhere on the stand. Okay, there we go, that you would like it to go. Very nice. Thank you, Bandai. Now, I have not once ever received a stand quite like this. Never. And I probably never will again. I doubt I even have this positioned in the correct way, but I've never seen this before with a Bandai stand. No, never quite like this. But even more so, have I never seen something like this? I've never seen anything quite like this. 2 hinges. One for forward and one for the side, and I am trying so hard to make sure this stays in great condition. And this is likely going to be used to get 2B into some aerial combat poses. Maybe Bandai finally saw that these third-party stands are just doing it better, so they decided to do something else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that stand and rod for pod, bars once again, a solid star. Hasn't broken on me yet. Neither has the claw, which is indeed included, but I just don't like using these because over time they stress, they crack. Maybe I'm just not delicate enough with them. But the fact that 2B has a port in her back, no, not her ass, means I don't need to use this. I can keep it in the box and never use it. Now, accessories. This magnificently painted and detailed sword right here. Oh, an open splayed right hand, a weapon holding right hand, and two of the same for the left side, but we also get a saluting hand over here. Nice inclusion. I dig it. When it comes to the faces, we have an open-eyed, goggle-less 2B face, and I just love what they did with her eyes, both around them and the blues on them. Just beautiful stuff. We've got a goggle-less attacking 2B face right here. We've got 2B with her eyes closed over here, and we have an attacking face with the goggles on. I do wish there was like a swooshy effect included, but with everything we've already seen, plus this, I think this is good enough. Deluxe version when. Now let me show you how to take off the face and give her a new one, and that'll be the face that remains for the rest of the video. Except for all the size comparison photos, because those were taken a week ago. So if you have an Android, this should be pretty simple for you. You take off the hair, you get a good grip under the chin and lightly pull, like so. And just so I can discuss it now, there will be a ball joint behind 2B's face, so she can look very far down, just, without her face. Swivel up here as well, yada, yada, yada. Match up the pegs and peg holes, give it the little push, and boom. Oh, there we go. 2B with eyes. Solid star for accessory inclusion and another solid star for those face decals. Holy God, so clean. And now we can take a look at articulation. First up, let's take a look at Pod. Pod will be able to swivel at his shoulder blades and at his elbows over here. As far as the elbows go, they will be able to bend backwards about that far, and then forwards about, very far. Wow. The arms will be able to swivel all the way around just like that. Sometimes they do pop off just like that, but his tinier arms over here will actually be able to swivel forward and a bit back just like that. Fret not, because these arms do go back on pretty easily and without issue, so if they pop off, like I said, don't worry, you didn't break it, nothing like that. And for a hollow piece of plastic, the articulation ain't bad. I just wish we could actually get him into the walking pose. See, if his fingers were articulated, I'd be able to do it, but yeah, as far as that goes, this is the best I can do, unfortunately. As stated before, 2B will be able to look down at the head, but it won't be too far, unless you implore the neck ball joint, which helps very much so. Looking back, not so much, but if you use the included waist ball joint, oh yeah, she got that arc, and I want to intersect her circle. But it's your basic head movement, left, right, all the way around, the whole 12 yards and 6. Ball joint below the titties, and a ball joint at the waist, aiding in that looking down motion and arcing back like so. We're gonna skip the arms and just go straight for the legs, because these arms, that's like the one weird point of this figure that I just don't like messing with. Before we tackle the legs, though, this little knot bow over here is articulated, so it will be able to go all the way around. You just gotta be careful. This is a softer vinyl/plastic, as is a majority of the dress as a whole. I mean, we're gonna get splits at the front ends over here, while this piece back here will be solid, but still rubbery. I'm guessing these splits on the sides are to accommodate leg movement to such an extent. Like if we bring that up, yeah, okay, I can see that. But yes, I just wanted to make that nice and clear. 2B will be able to kick about that far forward, and she will be able to kick not very far back despite having those cheeks butt. You can pull the legs down like so. Very easy, very simple. She can kick much higher forward, but will she be able to kick that much back? Yeah, a little bit, but not as far back as you may like. Since the legs are on a ball joint, they can swivel forward and back a bit. With those legs extended the way they are, 2B will be able to do the 2B splits. We do actually get a nice rotational over here above the knee. At that knee, we will get a pretty decent bend. Ankle will be able to kick up and down with a quite lovely pivot, just like that. Very nice. I forgot this, but there will be a swivel at the torso up here, and I do believe there will be a swivel, yes, at the waist as well. And no, as far as I know, the skirt is not removable, and I don't suggest trying it because if that is glued in, you'll ruin the skirt and the figure, and as far as I go, $83 will be right out the window because you're horny. All right, and now for the arms. You will be able to attain a full rotation at the shoulder blades over here. That joint on the inside likes to get a little misshapen, so you gotta put it back into place. I do believe this is a ball joint in her bicep over here, can move front and forward, left and right, all the way around. We're gonna have a hinge joint over here for the elbow, and this is a separate piece over here, so when you bend, it will move in and out of the way. And then with the wrist, we're going to have a hinge up and a hinge down, and the hands will be able to swivel on the peg. But unfortunately, that little peg socket that she calls a wrist is rather tight, and I haven't been able to comfortably swivel those joints around at the wrist, not at the hand, to a point where, you know, I can get a different motion instead of that. So there. So that was simple, right? Yes, it's this part over here that had me stumped for the longest time. Believe it or not, when I first get my figures in, I like to be delicate with them as I'm going through the articulation process because I don't want to break them, especially since I paid $83 for this friggin' thing. So when I first got 2B out of the box, I think I got that far with the shoulder, and I kept looking at these little rubbery bits over here, and finally I started tugging on her arms, and boom, there you go. And this is interesting. These little rubber pieces are meant to be there so it fills the gap between the shoulder blade and right over here. So when you pull them out, you're going to see that they might get unpegged, but it's a very, very easy fix. Now, I don't know if you can exactly see that in there, but let's get the clicky light. Yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a ball joint in there. So I guess it's not your standard butterfly joint-ish, kinda. But 2B will be able to move her arms a bit more forward and a bit more back thanks to that ball joint, and they do move down pretty far. But basically, you will be able to move 2B's arms in and out like so. You're going to get a bit of a rotation on there to a point where, you know, you can get her arms forward and back. But as far as getting the shoulder blades up high enough, that's as far as I could do, which is a lot further than I got last time when I got it out of the box. Both shoulders will be accommodated with this here build, and you'll be able to do roughly the same with them and such. It just makes me nervous is all, and I guess I'd have to give myself a half a star there just because I don't know. I don't get S.H.Figuarts figures that often. But regardless, I have to give Bandai credit for the tooling over there. I imagine that wasn't cheap, and I think it does a decent enough job. I do wish I could get the arms a bit higher, but semantics. Solid star. Let's take a look at posability. Posability-wise, despite having issues with the shoulders as I originally did, I think S.H.Figuarts 2B is quite good. I do wish her legs were able to kick back a little bit more, especially since Bandai went out of their way to give her the cheeks she deserves. But for the most part, as long as you angle the figure a specific way and have her on the stand at a specific angle, especially off the ground, that's really not too much of an issue. The figure can stand by itself, it can look attack ready, it can look calm and pondering and such. It's a very whimsical and lovely adaptation of 2B, which was already an adaptation from the game. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that for me personally, this is definitive. I don't need another articulated 2B figure unless, I don't know, some other company makes like a 10-inch one or there's a deluxe version of this coming out at some point. I like it. I like it quite a bit. And the fact that this thing can get away with some of the poses that it does is crazy. Come on, you knew there was going to be fan service in there, at least a little bit. But yeah, posability, another solid star on top of the articulation that's already a solid star. I am thinking of including just a tiny little half a star for those shoulders because even a week later, I still kind of just struggle with that. And that's mainly just because I don't get S.H.Figuarts figures that often and I don't know if this is a new thing or something that's happened like in the past or something. And if it has, please comment down below, let me know, and tell me, stuff. Yeah, size comparisons. Not a bad size for an S.H.Figuarts figure, and not a bad release to any stretch of the imagination. Feels good to finally have a proper and articulated 2B figure that isn't just the Nendroid release. And here's to hoping that my pre-orders for that Ichibansho 2B and others that I have will turn out just as good as the S.H.Figuarts version did. And ayo, if this video doesn't totally bomb, I'll gladly take a look at that Ichibansho 2B figure on here. Although, not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna do that anyway. Definitive is a cool word that I like to use. Probably a little too liberally. But seeing as how the PlayArts Kai NieR Automata stuff is very expensive and ridiculous, waiting for the S.H.Figuarts 2B was worth it, I would say. Finally, after all this time. But anyway, I've been ShinRobjira. Do so hope you enjoyed this here review. Patreon, social media, $1 a month, access to everything. Peace. Peace. Okay, peace. And we got the face that I make when I watch Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2.